Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be making a Christmas mini album. You can follow this tutorial though if you don't want to make a Christmas album. If you want to make one for a birthday or a wedding or Halloween, Thanksgiving, whatever the occasion. You just won't want to watch the last couple of videos where I show you how I decorate the album and everything, okay? So I'm going to first start off by showing you the items I'm going to use. So I have 1/4 inch double-sided tape, 1/2 inch double-sided tape. I'm going to make the base of my album white. You can do this in whichever color you choose to go along with the paper that you choose to use. I have a paper trimmer. I have a blade for just paper and a blade for just chipboard. You don't need to do this, but I just don't want to ruin my paper blade. I'm going to use Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. I've just put it into one of these Doris fine tip applicator bottles. I got these off of Amazon. I am going to use this from the Dollar Tree. I've got 5 packages here. I don't think I'm going to need all 5, but this is what's going to be my chipboard. It's the perfect size to cover and use for the bones of the mini album. And then of course I have my scoreboard, and I believe my bone folder's in here. Yes, and my bone folder. Okay, so I have opened up 3 of the Dollar Tree dry erase boards. These measure 9 by basically 12. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I don't want the rounded corners, so I am going to cut this off. So I'm just going to bring in my paper trimmer here, take off my paper blade. Okay, and I am going to just line this up. And just cut this off. And sometimes, yeah, I'm gonna have to do it for this one too. I am going to have to, so I'm taking off 1/4, or is it 1/8 or 1/2 inch? Yeah, I'm taking 1/2 inch off the side. So I'm just gonna line it back up with the 1/2 inch mark on this side and just continue cutting through, because the blades really aren't thick enough to go all the way through. And you just keep working it back and forth, and eventually it's going to come off. There we go. Sorry, it's a bit more than half. It is. I've taken off 3/4. I'm going to do the same with the other side. And actually, I want this to be 8 inches wide. So I'm going to line this up to 8 inches. So this is now 8 inches wide. Okay, I'm going to make this 8 by 10. So I'm going to line this up to 10. Oops, not let the arm go down. Okay. All right. We do the cut. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now I have one piece cut at 8 by 10. I'm going to make a second piece of 8 by 10, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to do the spine. Okay, so now we're going to score our paper for the hinges. I've put my 11 inch side up at the top, and 1/2 inch side is down here. So it's landscape, my page. So we're gonna first score at 1.5, then 2, then 2.5, then 2 7/8, 3 3/8, 3 7/8, 4 1/4, 4 3/4, 5 1/4, 5 5/8, 6 1/8, 6 5/8, 7, 7 1/2, 8, 8 3/8, 8 7/8, and 9 3/8. There we go. So what we're doing is we're going to make our hinge, which is the part that's going to hold the paper, a 1/2 inch wide, and then we're going to leave a gap 3/8 of an inch between the hinges. So now we're going to start folding, and you will need your bone folder because you want some nice sharp creases for this. So the way you're going to start this off is, this is going to probably be hard to tell. The first line is going to go down. So we're going to fold this up. Okay, so fold that up. Give it a nice burnish. Then we're going to flip it over, and the second score line, we're going to fold the end of the paper away from us. Okay, so there's my first fold. Then this one, so I flip the paper back around. I'm going to fold the paper away from me on the third score line. Give it a burnish. Now what happens is we have this that creates our first hinge. Okay? Now this one, so we keep it on the same side that we just folded on, and we're going to fold the paper away from us. Again, give it a nice burnish. There we go. Then we're going to flip it over, fold it away from us, flip it back. You probably get the idea now. All right, so once you've folded everything, you should have something that looks like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tape the hinges together so they're nice and straight together. So for this, I'm going to use my score tape or my double-sided tape. All right, so I am going to place a piece on either side, and you'll see how I do this here in a second. Okay, and then this one I'm going to put closer to the bottom. Wait, closer to the top of my score line. Oops. Okay, so there's that one. This is really sticky. I got this tape off of Amazon. Okay, so there's that one. Next is this one. So I like to fold them so I know that I'm doing the correct piece. Here we go. So backing off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to make sure that I get a nice sharp straight edge here. I'm just going to burnish that with my fingers. Okay, there's the first one. Okay, so there we go. There's our hinge. So now if I bring in my two outside pieces of my book and my spine, like that, this is going to sit like this. See? Okay, so now we're going to cover our dry erase board. I am going to use 12 by 12 white paper for this to cover the outside of my album. So I'm just going to get piece of white. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mat here, but you can use a ruler, whatever you like. And I am going to overlap these by 1/2 inch. I'm also going to rely on this. This is score tape, this one. This is a 1/2 inch score tape. If you only have 1/4 inch double-sided tape, just use a 1/4 inch double-sided tape. You do not need to go out buying anything fancy for this. If you only have liquid glue, use your liquid glue. No problem. Just if you use the liquid glue, I would suggest, you know what I'm gonna do? Because I want to make sure this is precise. I'm gonna do this in little strips. If you use liquid glue, I suggest you just let it dry before you cover your dry erase board, because you don't want your pieces of paper slipping while you're trying to cover them. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just burnish this down. Make sure it's got a good nice hold there. And then I'm gonna just remove the backing, like so. And then, like I said, I'm going to use my mat here because I want to get this lined up. I think I'm even going to take a piece of washi because I want to try to get this lined up as perfectly as I possibly can for the outside. Okay, I'm gonna put a piece up here. I just want it to overlap by 1/2 inch. I don't want it to overlap too much. Oh, my ruler's in the way. There we go. Okay. I hope I did that right. Oh, it looks like I did. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to burnish that with my hand, because if I use my bone folder to burnish this, this line here is going to come through. And same with on the other side. I don't think it would be the end of the world, but I just, that's not the look I'm going for. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I know the inside of my book is going to be completely covered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the side with the alphabet and the red and blue and black lines on the inside, because I know the inside of my book's going to be completely covered. So I don't have to worry about that. Now I'm just going to try to line this up to get a feel for how it's going to lay. My spine, or sorry, my 2 pages overlapping is going to be on my spine. I'm okay with that because I'm going to completely wrap my spine. You might see a bit of that at the top, but I am going to completely wrap my spine. So I'm okay with that. You want to take a couple pieces of the scrap dry erase board. I wonder if 2 is enough, or I should do 3. And I'm going to tape these together with washi. Just to keep them nice and straight together. Alright. Oh, and I just want to mention too, if you don't, if you don't want to go to the Dollar Tree and buy the dry erase boards, you can easily use cereal carton boxes. I've used cereal carton boxes before. Your covers won't be as thick, but it's still going to do the trick. Okay, so that is another option for you guys. Okay, there we go. There, see, now we have that at the width we'd like. I'm gonna say this is about 2 1/4. Just a bit less. Perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get my pencil. I'm going to get my pencil just to give myself a rough idea of where I had that one. There we go. See? Now what we're going to do, we are going to cover this in double-sided tape. If you only have liquid tape, you use your liquid tape. Do not fret, okay? It's not the end of the world if you don't have double-sided tape. An inch, because I know that this, right, remember my cover is 10 inches long. Okay? This piece of paper, 12 inches. So I would like it to have equal sides all the way across. So I'm just going to mark this. Okay. All right. There's that one. So now I'm going to remove the backing. The backing's all removed from the tape, so now we're going to turn this over, and I am going to line this up with my pencil marks. Just like that. Okay. And I'm just going to push this down. Now I'm going to do my spine piece again with the double-sided tape. Then I'm going to get my divider piece and my spine, and I'm going to line this up again. Oh. So this one you want to push up against your divider piece for the thickness. And then, oh goodness, and then you also want to get it straight. There we go. There's that one. And now the last one. Okay. All right, so again, I'm going to continue my line just for a little bit. Actually, no, I am. I'm going to continue my line just for a little bit longer. And again, we need the piece for the thickness that we want our division to be between the spine and the covers. And then we are going to press this up there. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to burnish from the back, and I'm going to avoid this part here. Remember, because I don't want the lines coming through. So now, we are left with this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to crease it here, and I am going to crease it here. This does not have to be a straight crease. It's okay if it's not. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another piece of scrap dry erase board. I'm going to angle it here. I'm going to get my pencil, And oopsies, I missed there. Just ignore that when you see that in a second. And I'm going to miter my corners. Okay, so I'm going to cut off all of that. So get my nice sharp scissors here. And I'm going to cut off all of these corners. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to fold these around. And how I'm going to do this, I'm going to bring my book up and I'm going to stand it straight up on itself, like that. Okay, I'm going to do it with this side as well. Stand it straight up on itself. They will wrap around like this, okay? There's one side. And two sides. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the, yes. I'm gonna start with the bottom and the top first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do score tape all the way across, except for I'm going to avoid these areas, okay? So I'm going to do score tape here, a little bit in the middle here, perfect, on this side, and then I'm also going to do my liquid glue. So first I'm going to burnish that on here, the backing on. Okay, so we can pull that off. And then I'm going to add liquid glue on on this part here. Okay. So close to the bottom where I haven't put double-sided tape, I'm going to do the liquid glue. Okay. Now you want to be very careful when you're folding this up that you get this nice and straight and tight. There we go. That's on there nicely. Okay. Now I will do the same for the other side. First thing we're going to do for the ends is we are going to miter the corners in. And to do this, you're just going to take your bone folder and push those ends in. Why won't that part stick down here? There we go. I said to get the liquid glue to come out a bit. See on this side. See, that's why you put liquid glue on. Okay, so push that side in. The other side doesn't have any corner to miter. I actually cut it too close on this side. So that's okay though. I'm not going to fret about that. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so now I'm going to put my double-sided tape on. Again on here, just on, and because this side is thicker, like this flap is thicker, I'm going to do two of those. Okay, like that. Let's see if I can get anything out of here to use. This is the one that I emptied into my glue bottle. Just seeing if there's any glue left at all in here. Or if I was pretty successful at emptying this into my bottle. Oh, there's still some in here. Okay. All right. Fold this one over. Don't know what that is. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we are going to crease these. And just keep creasing as you're folding it. So it folds nicely. You're going to do the same for the other side. Just keep running your bone folder back and forth. And then you have the outside completed of your album. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to do the inside. And the first thing we're going to attach is our hinge. Okay, so this is going to be the first thing that we are going to attach inside of the album. Now I'm just looking at something here. And I wish that my hinge was a bit taller. Because I want my white mat on the inside to go almost all the way to the edge of this part. So I think what I'm going to do is mount this onto a bigger piece of white cardstock. So it's longer. And it hopefully won't be as noticeable that it's too short. Okay, let me work on that. So, my paper, or this side, my book is still 10 inches? Yes, 10 inches. So I'm going to make the mats for inside 9 3/4. Yeah, 9 3/4. Okay. So I want them to be 9 3/4 tall. All right, so 9 3/4 tall. Let's see here. Right? Yes. Oh, that's the part for my hinge. Okay. So 9 3/4 tall. And this I probably only need a few inches up, so I'll just cut this down to 3. Okay. So I'll stick that down first. All right. I'm just going to turn it this way so I can see better, lining the top and bottom up. The side's going to line up exactly with the side of the hinge, because I'm at the same width as the hinge. It's 3 inches. Or the spine, sorry. Okay. Now we're going to move on to these two. These two I'm going to put the square tape on the paper. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna now just crease this part, fold the book as I go. Okay. Okay, now the other one. All right, here we go with this one. Okay. And again, I'm just going to fold and crease this. Like that. Now I see this part here and this part here are lifting, so I'm just going to put some liquid glue under those areas where I obviously didn't have enough of the double-sided tape. Okay, so now it's time to attach the hinge. I am going to use red line tape for this because this is going to get, you know, a lot of opening and closing. These are going to get moved around, so I really want to make sure that this sticks down well. Now I'm only going to put the red line tape on the outside, and then the rest I'm going to use squirt tape, okay? So, okay. I'm just going to burnish this tape on by doing it with my fingers from this side. Okay. And I'm going to take off the backings. So, I'm going to place this. Sorry. My head might come on the shot. If it does, I apologize. But I really want to make sure this is straight. That looks straight to me. The only thing is it can go a little bit further up if this hasn't set down yet, which it might have. And if it has, then I'm just gonna have to go with it. Okay, I'm going with it. I can't get that off. We are just gonna let that sit where it has sat. Okay, there we go. We got the hinge in. That makes me happy. Okay, and now again, we are going to crease and fold the book. This is the last time we have to do this. Okay, and I'm just gonna make sure it's good and down there on that side. Okay, and then we're going to do the same for this side. Okay, so there we have our completed outside of our mini album and the hinge for the inside. Join me next time and we will create the pages to go on the hinges, and we will decorate the outside of the album, or at least lay down the mats, okay? Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.